In August, nobody in the fan base and maybe in the club expected Arsenal to go and win 50 points in the first half of the season. As the season's gone on, expectations have really shifted among the fans, and now you can almost feel their excitement and the eagerness for them and for the club to keep going. Have the expectations changed within the squad and in your mind in the same way?
Well, when you see yourself there and when you see the team performing and winning matches, you want to continue that, that's for sure. But you have to do things consistently at an extremely high level, and you have to have all the players available as well, to have the capacity to rotate, to have the capacity when players are not in the best moment to change them, and that's what we're looking to do. But I think a highly motivated team with a highly motivated crowd and wants to help you for success, I think is an extraordinary thing to have.
I suppose what I mean is almost like in the first half of the season, the club has redefined what many fans thought was possible this year. The target for most people in their minds was top 4, and now it's changed. And I wondered if that's had any impact internally.
I think the impact is more enthusiasm, more willing to try to achieve something bigger and something that this club deserves.
Is there what's the danger? Because everyone says Manchester City are brilliant. There's no disgrace in coming second to Man City. Have you got to sort of stop that mindset kicking in now?
But we don't know. What we can control is what we do, and that's what I've been saying for 3 months. It's about what we do tomorrow and the energy that we're going to have tomorrow to play and how we're going to play and how we're going to continue to believe in what we do and be more efficient at that. We cannot control what other teams are doing. At the end of the day, come end of May, you're going to have certain amount of points. Don't tell me how or where, but you're going to have those points.
But presumably no one's settling for second place, and that's not what the target is anymore.
Sorry?
No one is now settling for second place.
Settling?
Yeah, sort of settling for second place and saying, well, that's still a good season.
But the challenge is to win tomorrow. It's not about what has going to happen in the table now is going to change in 3 weeks' time, for sure.
And can I ask briefly about Eddie and Gabby Martinelli? And you're sort of talking about not being efficient enough in the boxes. They seem to have been, last few games, finding it quite difficult to sort of find a bit of space. Is that just a consequence of being so young and going to happen?
I don't know. I think the most difficult thing for us is to score goals. Eddie produced a penalty that could have been a goal, and so he could have scored a hat-trick against Manchester City, and then we're talking about something else. Unfortunately, he didn't, and then you have those debates, but full belief in those kids.
Well, Mikel, just on the point around availability, I was wondering, because you've named a lot of unchanged teams, would you actually like to have rotated more this season, or are you happy with how that's kind of panned out?
Well, we looked at every option, and obviously we have all the data of the players, the amount of minutes that they played, and what they've done so far. It's proportional to what they can do, that's for sure.
Dan? I think you said earlier in the season when you, with so many young players, that eventually you have to pay a tax. They're going to make mistakes. I just wondered, do you feel when you see games like Wednesday night, is that what you see? Is that how you explain it? That that's just going to happen with young players, or is there something else that you think is causing those errors?
I think if we had a bet with all the staff and players at Colney and say, okay, if someone has to do a clearance for us tomorrow to win the league, we have to pick one player. I think we all play Tomiyasu, all of us. But this is football and these things happen. It doesn't matter if you are 22, 28 or 31. At the end of the day, the kids can make mistakes, yeah, and the more senior players as well. And we have made mistakes that fortunately hasn't cost us that many points, but we have made quite a lot.
And so is there anything you as a coaching staff can do to cut those out? Like what can you do in the short term to cut out errors? Or do you just have to accept that they're going to happen?
You have to prevent them. There's a lot of things that you can do to try to prevent them. But then in football, everything goes so fast, so quick, that what you put there on a video, at the end, it's impossible to replicate in a football pitch.
Gary?
When you were a player here, there were a couple of sort of times you went for the title and the run faded at the end of the season. I know you've changed the mentality since being here, but do you feel there's maybe a weight of history that the players in the club a barrier still has to get over?
We weren't there in many situations to win really the title. I wish we had more, but you want to be there. You want to be there on the mix, and then you need to know to win a title. You have to have certain things in the squad. That's for sure. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen by coincidence, and we are trying to do that. And this is what we're going to get.
So what would be you short of then that you haven't got?
Sorry.
What are you short of that you haven't got then?
We have everything in the squad.
Mike?
Mikel, after being top of the league for 6 months, and now you've been knocked off the top, do you sense there's a lot of neutral support for Arsenal to be the champions? Do you think that now you're the underdogs, if you like, chasing Man City? Do you think that more people want you to do it?
I don't think we have ever been favourites to win it. So I don't think that has changed. I think Man City was the number one candidate from day one because they merited that position because of what they've done the last 5 years.
But in terms of neutrals who want a team to win the title, do you feel that more people now want Arsenal to do it?
That I agree because as well they see, and I think they have a lot of sympathy for us and our players and the way we have done things. That's yes, but if you ask during these 6 months you have to bet on somebody, put your money on your house on somebody, I think a lot of people would do something different.
Last one, Nick.
The way Man City played and sort of altered their tactics at the other night was quite extraordinary, really, looking back at it. You know, we haven't really seen them sort of hit the front man that early. It was very different to how they normally play, out of possession as well. What does it tell you that even they are changing things up so drastically against you?
I don't know. I think we have an idea. Certainly, they had an idea how to play, and the game took a direction that I think it was quite good for us. But at the end, we didn't materialize what we wanted to do.
If you had to change your principles a bit, sort of plan B, plan C, in order to get over the line to win the title, would you do it?
Sorry.
If you had to change your principles a bit, your tactics a bit, your approach to the game in order to get over the line, a bit like Pep did the other night, he changed things up quite considerably. Would you do it?
He changed what?
Well, he changed the way he plays quite considerably, didn't he? Like he went longer to Haaland, he was happy not to have the ball as much. Would you alter your principles in order to get over the line?
That's something that we do game by game, obviously in relation to the opponent, the players that we have, and what we want to do. We will adapt and change things when it's the best for the team. Sometimes you have to adapt because of the other team makes you adapt. That's very different.